Hey everybody, it's Chase from On the Table Gaming, and this video is for Star Wars Legion players who have been playing for a while. They already know the game is awesome, and they want to look for ways to expand their army and customize it in new and exciting ways. So there are a lot of third-party options for this game, and while the miniatures themselves for this game are quite excellent, if you look online at things like Mel's Miniatures or Skullforged Games, they have some 3D printed options that you can get. They give you alternative sculpts or maybe some factions that are not yet in the game, like droids. Although those armies are slated to be released next year, you might want to get a jump on it or get some alternative sculpts right off the bat. Those are all great, and I have some 3D printed models, and they're really cool. They're a little brittle, but overall the detail is exceptional, and they are great additions to your army. However, unless you are in the Star Wars Legion Facebook page, you may have missed out on some other really cool options and alternative sculpts. So what I want to talk today is about this little gem. It's a person I found whose name I think is Constantine. They are Russian, and they've posted on the Star Wars Legion group page some of the sculpts they've done. Now, these are not 3D renders. They are hand sculpted, kind of old school style. And this guy actually goes through and sculpts his own Star Wars miniatures, and he's actually selling them through Facebook. So I've got some slides up here. Now this guy does not have an Etsy page. He doesn't have any storefront. And so when I first started looking into this, I was a little bit skeptical. It's some random Russian dude in some village who's churning out these beautiful models. I don't know if I'm going to send money through PayPal. Is it just going to disappear into some black hole and I'm never going to see anything? But I decided to take the risk, and I Facebook messaged him and started a dialogue, and he doesn't have any prices posted. Most of it seems like it's over Facebook Messenger and maybe is even subject to change. But what he's doing is he's hand sculpting these beautiful models, and you send him your PayPal money, and he will ship them to you internationally if need be. So one of the drawbacks is that it did take about 5 weeks for it to arrive. And I, maybe after 3.5 weeks, 4 weeks, I actually Facebook messaged him just to confirm, did everything go through? Is this working out right? Or did my money just disappear? He was super polite and apologetic. He was saying how he was dealing with a lot of shipment orders. He's got a lot of demand, and he showed me a photo of a bunch of shipping slips. And I mean, it was a stack probably like 40, 50 deep. And I said, well, I haven't gotten mine yet. And he took the slip and went down to the post office the next day and said, what happened? It got stuck in customs. I had to send an additional form, and it went right through, and I got it in 5 days from that message. So, while there are some weird snafus, I think this guy is a genuinely good person who wants to get his sculpts out there, wants to get credit for his work, and wants to see the Star Wars Legion universe expand and this game thrive and survive. So if you're looking for alternative sculpts, this is a great place and a great option to go with. So that being said, I do have a copy of 2 of my miniatures that I ordered from him. And right here, I'll just show you briefly. It comes in this little plastic case like a soap dish, and there was a tissue in there, but it's not really heavily packed. And I ended up getting a Princess Leia resculpt, kind of like the one from A New Hope. I thought it'd be cool for some thematic games. And just pulling it out here, I'll give you a sense of what the quality of the miniature is. So first off, look at the cloth lines. This is a really detailed miniature. It's very, very detailed. And if you look at the gun, it's looking kind of fragile. Now, luckily, this pose in particular doesn't have it sticking out, and you can see a little bit of the flashing there that you cut off. So it doesn't look like it's going to break off. You can get a pretty good solid glue right there. And one of the problems was on the face, there's a little bit of like a bumpy texture. I was kind of disappointed, but I just rubbed it with my fingers. It came right off. So actually, this is a minimal cleanup model that actually looks amazing. If you're a little bit disappointed with the Leia that comes with Star Wars Legion's expansion, this is a great alternative way to go. Now, this model actually shows a little bit more of the cleanup elements. Look at the sleeve underneath the hands and in the left armpit over here on the side. You can see a little bit of that extra buildup. That just wipes off with your finger. Maybe you want to take a Q-tip or something. So while there is a little bit of cleanup, these models are so detailed and they're kind of easy to clean up. So I would highly recommend them. Now, I mean, just look at the cloth detail there. That's absolutely amazing. So this guy is a pro. Now, the hand's small, but look at this piece here. I was at first rather disappointed. This is the lightsaber. Now, this is so thin, this will snap instantaneously. But there's also the second piece he provides. It's basically a wire, like a paper clip. That's super sturdy, a great lightsaber to put in there, and really smart of him to give this backup. So now, would I recommend these models? Well, I think the first thing to think about here is what's your situation. They are a little bit more expensive, so you're basically paying for what you would maybe twice the price at least of a standard single character model, and you're not getting any tokens. But the sculpt is unique, and he's doing these the original sculpt is by hand. You can see the videos and pictures on his Facebook page. So it's really, this is art. Secondly, how are you transporting your models? If you're throwing your models in like a shoebox and carrying them around that way, definitely do not do this. These models will break in that instance. If you have like a battle foam case or some magnetized racks you're using, 100% go for that. These are awesome models. Now, the other thing I would be concerned about, besides the fact they don't come with bases, right? You've got to use the standard FFG bases, and they do have those ones you can purchase now from FFG, but they've got some textures on them I don't really like. So I'm looking for like just generic FFG Legion bases. So maybe like if your Imperial's a snowtrooper who has an ion gun, might not be using his base, and you could use that. But the only other concern I have is if you're new to tabletop wargaming and you don't have a lot of experience with models, Legion's basic models are super easy. You just pop them in, glue the feet down, and you're ready to go. These are a little bit more sophisticated than that, and so it's going to take a little bit more modeling know-how. Now, if you've already coming from other games, War Machine, Warhammer, whatever, if you've done a little bit of wargaming and you've had to assemble multi-part models, these are going to be no problem. So I would definitely go for it. So this guy is not affiliated with me in any way. I just thought I'd give a shout out and a review because it was a little bit of a risk sometimes saying, without a storefront, purchasing something from some random person online, you not know if they're just going to take the money and run or not. This guy is super legit. The models are awesome, and you should definitely check it out. So I hope you get some of these models, and I hope to see them on the table.